So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how we can use Desmos to help us solve some, look at some modeling problems. So here we have three models we're working with. Option A is $1,000 will be deposited on December 31st. And then each day an additional $1,000 will be deposited until January 31st. Option B, we 1 penny would be deposited on December 31st in a bank account bearing your name. Each day the amount will be doubled. And then the last option is you just get $30,000 right on now and you're done with it. So let's see which one of these options is the better option to go with. We are going to use Desmos. So one thing to remember here is that we need to come up with our model. So we need to think about what that model would look like. So let's look at each one of these options. So let's look at the option of the first option, option A. So that one would be y is going to equal, we're starting with $1,000. And then we're going to add $1,000 for each day. So if you think of a day as X, so X is your number of days from December 31st. Then you've got this equation here. So that looks like the equation I'm going to work with. So let's go to Desmos. We'll first type that equation into Desmos. So the first thing we're going to do is clear our annotations out. You don't see those on top of here. All right, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to type in Desmos. We're going to type in y equals y1 equals. We had 1,000 where we started plus 1,000 times x. So there's our graph. If you want, you can look at the graph. We might need to change the window a little bit because things don't look exactly perfect. So let's actually go change our window. We don't need to have negative x's. So maybe start at -1. 60 might be too many because we're going to go to January 31st of that year. So it's probably 32 would be fine. And then we started with $0. So we put 0 as our starting point of our y. And then we're going to add 1,000. So let's just put in, I don't know, 50,000 just to see where that goes. Okay, so there's what that graph looks like, what that is. And if you want to find the table values, we can actually, again, include the table, come up here, click on add an item. We want to do a table. We're going to change these from X just to X, and we're going to change this Y to Y sub 1. That way it will actually take the X values and count them in. So if we put in 0, we'll get the 1,000 we started with. Oh, I actually did 100, didn't I? Should be 1,000. And that's 1,000 each day. Okay. So to change my window a little bit. Then we're going to put in a 1 and those 2,000. 2, 3. And notice that Desmos would just put them in there for you if you wanted to. So we're going to go all the way to the 31st day. And there's our values in there. Again, we're going to change our window a little bit. We obviously don't see enough of the top of the graph. So let's change our Y max to maybe 50,000. And there you can see a nice linear graph going up. Now let's go look at the other model. So our other model was that we're going to have 1 penny would be deposited on December 31st into a bank account bearing your name. Each day the amount would be doubled until January 31st. So in that case, we're going to think about where we're going to start. So we're going to start we're starting with y equals 0.01, 1 penny. So that's where we're going to start. And then the next day, we're going to double it. So we're going to multiply that by 2 to get to the next day. Then we're going to double it again to get to the next day. I'm going to keep doubling it for every single day. So instead of just having two, think of it as this way, think of it this way. Think of it just making a little table here. You're going to start with 1 penny, and then you're going to double it. So I want to undo that. Shouldn't have put the 1 there. I should have put that. This is 0, starting with 1 penny. And then on day 1, we're going to now double that. So we're going to have 2 pennies. Then day 2, we're going to double that again. That's 4. Day 3, we're going to double that again. That's now going to be 8, and so forth. So if you notice in this, you can think of this as you multiply by 2 here, then you multiply by 2, and you multiply by 2. You got 2 times itself, in this case 3 times. So this would be 2 times itself, x times. So that would be 2 to the x. So let's go see what that one looks like. So we're going to again clear these drawings, and we're going to put that function into Desmos. So we'll come over here, click just down here. We're going to call this y2, and y sub 2 is going to be 0.01, our starting value, 2 to the x power. And then again, it would be useful to look at a table. So we're going to go ahead and include a table. We're going to do a plus sign, do the table. Again, get rid of that x3. You want to call that x, and you want to call this one y sub 2. And now you can type in 0, and notice you get your 1. And then we can keep doing that. We can do another one. Oops. 2, 3, and notice it's going to do them all for you. You don't have to keep typing the x value. You can just hit enter each time, and you're going to see where those are going to head up to. And so 31 days, you're going to have that much money in your account. Let's do the last option. The last option was to just get $30,000. Was it 30,000 or 3,000? Let's go back and look at what it said. It says we're going to get $30,000. So we're going to go back to Desmos. We can just say y equals 30,000. And there's the 30,000. So you're going to notice the 30,000 sounds like a great idea, but even after not even a month, you're going to have more money in there from the depositing $1,000 each day. So it makes sense to not take the $30,000 because you're going to have a little bit more in there. But if you notice this 1 penny, it's suddenly taking off and getting much bigger than all the other values. And in fact, on the 31st day, you're going to have $21 million in that account if you double it every day. So that would make more sense to get that one. And that's how we can use Desmos to see how these things work and see which is the better option.